Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I'm very happy to have Barry Hancock here from Utah Warbirds and Warbird Adventures, and I'm thrilled to have you here, buddy.
Thanks. Good to be here.
You guys also Pilot Maker is the other term, the other company name there at the facility in Heber.
Yeah.
And one part of that, an element of that maybe folks don't know, is the Pilot Maker Airshow. That's something else that you get involved in, which it counts for the attire.
Came all dressed up today, yeah.
Yeah, you are looking like you're ready to go flying, buddy.
Yeah, well, it's more than just a clown suit. It's actually a safety suit as well. But
that's right. Some fire retardant built into that, which is important.
Yeah. Pilot Maker is actually one of the nicknames of the T6, which is the plane that I fly in air shows.
That's right.
And it's what spawned the name Pilot Maker Air Shows and Pilot Maker Flight Academy and all the stuff that we do over there. But we fly air shows in the T6 around the region, and like we just talked about off air, I've been flying air shows every week for the last 5 weeks now, and getting ready for Hill this weekend.
A busy summer for you, for sure.
Yeah.
And people may not realize, but we have one of the largest air shows in the country here this weekend. And it is spectacular, known not only as the Utah Air Show, but also Warriors over the Wasatch.
Right. The
Thunderbirds return to Hill Air Force Base. And, oh man, for folks who've not been, have no idea. Yeah, you got to go. You got to know what it's like.
Yeah, I've been going to air shows since I was a kid, and it never gets old. The Thunderbirds are, they're one of the legends of the air show circuit. They've been around for a very long time. They recently had a crash, which a lot of people might be aware of. And whenever they have a crash, thankfully the pilot was okay. He was able to eject.
He was able to eject, and that was at the. It was crazy. That was at the
Air Force
graduation
Academy.
for the academy.
That's right. But they have a safety stand down when that happens, and that can go on for weeks and weeks. But fortunately for us, they're back up, they're going, and they're looking forward to coming to Hill and performing for everybody. And like you said, it's one of the largest air shows in the country. They're expecting over 500,000 people to go to that air show this weekend. So
amazing, yeah, it's over 200,000 a day.
A lot of great acts in addition to the Thunderbirds as well.
Well, I'll say, including yours.
Yeah.
So let's hear about that for a moment. Tell me about your part of the performance there, because I think as much fun as the grand finale is with the Thunderbirds, and it is terrific, the stuff leading up to it is some of the very best flying you're going to see. No,
it's true. I mean, we've got a lot of local talent here in Utah. This was a Grand Junction last year. The Thunderbirds were there also. But the T6 is a World War II trainer. We also give rides in that airplane, which we'll talk about in a bit. But it's a big airplane. It 5,500 pounds, but it's surprisingly agile. It's a lot of smoke, a lot of noise. It's a crowd favorite at the air shows, and I really have a fun time flying for the people.
Yeah, well, I bet you do. I mean, I've never flown for a crowd.
Yeah.
But I got to guess it's a pretty great experience.
It is, and our show is about honoring the past and inspiring the future, and both the World War II vets and frankly all veterans. I love to pay tribute to them and then to inspire future generations, connecting with the kids. And I was one of those kids many moons ago now, but I remember going to the air shows and watching the guys fly, and that's where I got my inspiration to fly, and hopefully I can do the same for the next generation.
Yeah, when you think about that, both of us were probably at a couple of air shows together, just
no doubt, right?
And ended up on these paths that take us to aviation based on the fact that we saw these incredible performances.
Yeah.
And this weekend is going to be one of those for sure, where a lot of kids are going to get the excitement about flying in general, flying in the military, possibly. Flying for an airline, all of that stuff comes from these air shows. It's barnstormer age, equivalency when you think about it. We go right back to those first days of flight when people were getting their introduction to it by people coming and flying in their neighborhood.
Yep.
It's not any different.
Yep. No, it's not any different. That's very true. Greg Collier here in the T-33. The T-6 was a World War II trainer. The T-33 was a post-World War II trainer. He's going to be at Hill as well. He's a buddy of mine. A lot of us are friends on the air show circuit because we end up at the same place. But Greg is a fantastic pilot. The T-33 is a fun plane to watch. He puts on a fantastic demo.
Fun plane to fly. I've got about maybe 30 minutes on the stick of that plane.
Oh, is that right?
pretty great time.
Yeah. And there's like you said, there's a wide variety of stuff going on all day long at the show. You want to be careful that you plan the day accordingly, because it's easy to get burnt out. It's going to be hot this weekend.
Yeah.
And there's not a ton of shade out there, other than under the wings of the big airplanes.
Yeah, the C-47 is your best bet for shade, but like you said, there's not a lot of space underneath it. When you're talking about over 200,000 people a day,
right.
you want to take a cooler full of water.
Yep.
Not soda, water.
Yep.
You're going to need all of it. It's a hot day for sure. Talk to me about obviously, we talk about the thrill of flying and getting to do it in front of people, but, talk to me about the experience in the cockpit, too, just the moments of silence and quiet up there.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, actually. I was saying the other day, I just flew up in Rexburg last weekend, and, the show, the preparation for the show, the mental preparation for the show, if somebody asked me yesterday, do you get nervous? And no, I don't get nervous. I get focused, right? And it's you put your game face on, and I kind of liken it to when you go out in front of a big crowd and you perform. It really kind of gets you pumped up. And the one thing that you need to really be cognizant of is keeping that in check. Because when you're pumped up, you have a tendency to maybe over control the airplane or pull a little bit too hard, and so those are the things that you really have to worry about. And then, honestly, you think about the weirdest things when you're up there, because I guess it's because you're isolated and you're focused. And I was the other day, you may be able to hear I've got a little bit of a head cold, but I was in the middle of a loop. I was at the top of a loop, and I thought, and I checked my gates, for the safety gates that I have, and as I was coming down the loop, I'm thinking to myself, man, I got a headache. I just want to get on the ground. I got on the ground afterwards, and I started laughing. I'm like, why were you thinking about that in the middle of your routine?
Right.
So it's just this, like you say, it's this solitary space, and these just kind of strange, weird, odd thoughts come into your head when you're up there performing. But when you get back down on the ground, and you've got the big crowds there, again, that's what I really enjoy, is connecting with the people, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, when they're cheering and you get to go up and a little kid asks you for your autograph, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Is there? All right. Well, I want to talk about one other element here that we're pretty excited about, of course, and that is the Park City Television Weekend Show, which comes this weekend from Heber Valley and includes the time that we spent at Utah Warbird Adventures and the flying that we got to do together. And boy, did we have a great time. You guys have some incredible aircraft over there, and giving people those adventures, those opportunities, is what it's all about. Talk to me about what someone will win this week in the giveaway that we're doing, and accompanying that. They're going to get an awesome opportunity.
Yeah, they are. We just saw a video there of Melissa Pemberton, who will also be performing.
That's right. She's awesome, too. Yeah, we don't want to leave her out.
Yeah, she's great. And some of the maneuvers there are that's a different airplane than we have, but we have a similar airplane called a Pitts S2C that can do maneuvers similar to that. So there's the Pitts, there's the T6 that I fly the air shows in, which is a much more kind of graceful airplane, allows us to do kind of more gentleman's aerobatics, if you will.
Right.
It's a great experience because it's a big bubble canopy, and then we've got the twin beach as well. So there's a variety of things that people can choose from to experience, and any one of them, it's the neat thing, right? It's like the flavor of the day. What do you feel like? Do you feel like doing more, wild aerobatics, or do you feel like going out and just touring around, seeing this beautiful countryside, and doing some, just introductory stuff as well? We've got it all covered.
Wow. Yeah, we're giving away an opportunity to go and do exactly that with Barry Hancock and Utah Warbird Adventures. It's going to be a great time for somebody. Somebody's going to get lucky and get to go and have that experience for free, which is tremendous, to say the least.
Forward to that.
But we should mention too that this is an inexpensive opportunity for everyone to really get those opportunities in an aircraft. There are plenty. There's, like you just said, you got plenty of planes over there, and lots of daylight to fly in. We've got a lot of daylight right now, and some good winds down the runway. It's a good time to get out and fly.
Oh, it's a great time to get out and fly, and the like you say, it's a bucket list item for a lot of people. It's not something that you're going to do a bunch. But as a matter of fact, I just took somebody flying, and we were in the middle of a roll, and he goes, "Well, I guess I get to check that off my bucket list."
Right.
And it's fun to be able to experience those things with people and share those things. But yeah, it's not something that people sometimes don't understand, that these airplanes are expensive to operate, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a $25 deal like it used to be back in the barnstorming days. But nonetheless, we can make it affordable. If you fly in the Twin Beach with 6 people, it works out to about $80 a person for a 20-minute tour around the valley.
That's awesome.
For a flying adventure, it doesn't get much better than that, really.
I'll say. Well, the truth of it is, if you consider barnstorming dollars to today's dollars, it's still a bargain.
Yeah, that's right.
It really is, and a great opportunity to fly in several different aircraft, as you mentioned. I'm excited to see you this weekend.
Yeah, thanks.
People can go to the Airshow at Hill Air Force Base, get a chance to see what you do, see your aircraft. That is free to the public,
That's
by
right.
the way, at Hill Air Force Base. You'll want to look at the website, both under Utah Air Show or at the Hill Air Force Base website, to make sure that you understand some of the preclusions. There's all kinds of things. No guns, for one, are allowed on base. That's an absolute. But also some of the things you can bring. You can bring a wagon. You can bring the cooler. There's things that you can bring to kind of keep yourself a little cooler up there. But there's other things that aren't allowed, umbrellas and different things that you would otherwise think, sure, I could take that. Yeah, you got to consider the fact that we've got a lot of wind up there as well. So.
Yeah, and a nice thing is, looking at the forecast, we actually get a break this
thankfully.
weekend, Friday,
It's looking real
Friday
good.
and Saturday, so it's not going to be too hot.
About a 10-degree break from where we've been, which is good news.
You're still out there on the hot tarmac. It's you got to be prepared.
Yeah, you
like
got
you say.
5 feet of concrete, 5 feet deep of concrete out
Yeah.
there can keep some real heat in it for sure. But I cannot wait to see you fly this weekend.
Thanks.
It's going to be terrific. I hope your head cold's feeling good by the time you get out
I'll
there
be good
flying.
enough,
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Joe.
It's great having you here. Barry Hancock. It's Utah Warbird Adventures. Make sure you tune in this weekend to the Mountain Weekend Show with Heber Valley as the focus, and Utah Warbird Adventures, certainly not a small part of that. We got a lot more coming up here on the Mountain Morning Show right after these messages.